We could break a heat record today, and it comes with a price. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Alexandra Lewis. We are under an elevated fire risk today, not only because of temperatures, but also high winds and the ongoing lack of moisture. And Chris Bianchi already tracking some high winds in some spots.
Yeah, we just had a 61-mile-an-hour wind gust, Alex, within the last 5 minutes out at the airport. So there's a ground stop in effect for the next 14 minutes. My suspicion is that will likely get extended. What a ground stop means is that if you're flying from, say, New York to Denver, that inbound plane is held at its point of origin until that ground stop is lifted. So it doesn't mean that all traffic stops at the airport. It just means that inbound flights can't take off until it's lifted. Right now, it's already about 70 for us in the 9 News backyard. Today's going to be day number 7 this winter season, at or above 70 degrees here in the Mile High City. Unbelievable how warm this winter season has been. 60s, 70s, eastern plains, 40s and 50s in the mountains right now. In fact, it is warmer in most of the mountains right now than it is across parts of North Florida at this hour. They've got a really sharp cold front across the East Coast, but here in Colorado, we got a few high clouds overhead. These are mountain wave clouds. Might notice that red. What that means is a winter storm warning for the mountains. So we do have some active weather on the way for the mountains starting tonight. That'll be more in earnest for tomorrow. Meantime, in Denver today, the story, 72. That would break our daily record of 71. There is a fire weather warning until 5 p.m. That will be a bit more concerning for us in the foothills and the mountains where those winds are a bit on the stronger side. That's where the high wind warning is. For the western parts of Larimer, as well as Boulder and Jeffco, force gusts up to 80 miles an hour. That forecast here in Denver, it stays warm today, and then those temperatures drop tonight. We may get some rain showers in Denver tomorrow night, though, and the mountains, some pretty healthy snow on the way for the high country. I'll tell you about it in a few minutes.
Chris, thanks. 9 News has confirmed the city of Denver will officially ditch flock cameras and bring in Axon. That's the company behind all the body cameras law enforcement wears. The switch comes after 9 News uncovered that Denver's license plate data was placed on a national network accessible to agencies tied to immigration enforcement. Because of that, city leaders say trust in the company is damaged. The flock contract with Denver will finish at the end of March. We'll have so much more on this switch and the reasoning behind it later today on 9 News. However, there are still some privacy concerns associated with the license plate readers, and that's what inspired a new bill that just passed a Colorado Senate committee yesterday. So that legislation would require police officers to get a warrant to search driver tracking databases. But as 9 News reporter Spencer Soysher tells us, law enforcement around the state is against it.
Police departments and district attorneys from around the area sure did their best to try to kill this surveillance bill on Monday. But it's advancing with some amendments, too.
It would be akin to if tomorrow everyone in this room was no longer able to have their cell phone in their pocket.
It would take you an awfully long time to find a Colorado law enforcement agency in favor of Senate Bill 70, a bill that would require them to get a warrant to search a license plate tracking database, like Flock.
It's created a convenience.
Take Republican El Paso and Teller County District Attorney Michael Allen's word for it. He's speaking on behalf of all 23 of Colorado's DAs, Republican and Democrat.
The effect of this bill would allow criminals to take advantage of modern technology to plan, perpetrate, and hide criminal activity, while requiring law enforcement to work in the Stone Age, essentially.
3.3 million years ago, cars, let alone AI-enhanced license plate readers, were not a thing. But concerns about mass surveillance and how private companies are sharing data location in 2026, that's real.
Immigrant communities have seen those tools used beyond their original purpose. That history matters. When guardrails are weak, trust erodes.
If we have to write a probable cause warrant to access this data, it's going to be very hindering to many investigations where we don't already have probable cause.
That point from the Jeffco sheriff, not having enough and relying on a flock-type system to create probable cause, is actually why some like this bill.
Thank you.
Like Christiana Elser, whose story went viral after police in Columbine Valley used flock data to build their case, wrongly accusing her of stealing packages.
He told me you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of town without us knowing. He also told me that he's tracked me over the last month 20 times going in and out of that town. He had a summons already prepared for theft before he even spoke to me. I was faced with the dystopian task of proving my innocence against the apparent evidence from the system.
The bill is advancing out of committee, passing on a 5-2 vote. It'll see some changes, like allowing police departments to hold data for up to 30 days, an increase from its original version.
There is clearly a huge mass of the public who do not think that you should have this data.
Spencer
So what
Soysher,
would you like
9
us to
News.
tell them?
Denver police believe they've caught the man accused of assaulting 2 women near Washington Park last month. They say 24-year-old Chance Lipscomb is behind an assault on January 7th on South Grant Street, a few blocks from Wash Park. Police believe he then attacked a woman January 27th at Ellsworth and Grant. And now former park ranger has pleaded guilty to the claim he was attacked at Staunton State Park, but really stabbed himself. Callum Heskett's claim back in August set off this extensive manhunt, but an investigation showed he was the one behind it. Yesterday, Heskett pleaded guilty to attempting to influence a public servant and false reporting of an emergency. He got 3 years of probation and has to pay more than $16,000 in restitution. CDOT is working to crack down on speeding in northern Colorado with more speed cameras. The agency installed them last month to watch the express lane work zone on I-25 between Meade and Berthoud, but speeders will get warnings until at least April 1st, but after that, there will be a $75 fine. CDOT did the same thing last summer on Highway 119. Remember that, between Boulder and Longmont? The agency says speeding violations have dropped more than 80% in that location. Denver is working on a plan to notify GPS maps like Google when it makes changes to streets. However, that didn't happen last week when the city switched up 2 busy one-way streets into 2-ways. A lot of drivers were going the wrong way on 13th Avenue and 14th Avenue between Quebec and Yosemite after Dottie started allowing 2-way traffic and didn't really tell a lot of people. So after we asked a whole bunch of questions, they told us they would start to reach out and create a formal process to notify the apps when changes are made to streets in the future. New here at noon, the Sundance Institute has released the dates, finally, and the sites for the 2027 Film Festival that will be held in Boulder for the first time. First, the event will take place January 21st through the 31st, 2027. Second, we've learned the venues for all the screenings will be across the city and on the CU Boulder campus. Among the theater locations in the city are the auditoriums at both Boulder High School and Casey Middle School, along with Boulder Theater, E-Town Hall, and on the CU campus, actors and film buffs will be at Mackey Auditorium Concert Hall and Munzinger Auditorium and the Row Green Theater as well. We'll have a full list on our website. You can see everything you need to know there, along with more coverage here on 9 News later today.